Welcome all to Off the Cuff with Namrita. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend and getting ready for your festive season. And I'll start with a quote today. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. And in the times when most tech executives are trying to make instant money, nothing wrong with it though, we all need them too. My guest here today took a different route. He took retirement from the corporate world and founded a non-profit organization that helps the underprivileged and the needy in India. Welcome Shri Gopalakrishnan to Off the Cuff.
Thank you, Namrita.
Can I call you Shri?
You can call me Shri. Yes.
Okay. So a little bit about Shri. Shri is the founder of KindKart, a unique, trusted and transparent charity marketplace that connects donors and beneficiaries. He is a former technology executive with over 18 plus years of experience at eBay and PayPal. When he's not spreading kindness, he loves to spend time outdoors with his family. So warm welcome, Shri.
Thank you, Namrita.
So tell me, what inspired you to start KindKart? In the times of Instacart and Amazon cart and whatever cart, yeah.
Yes. Now, for a while I've felt that I should at some point in my life actually do a little bit more on the social side and social giving.
Okay.
And it was, I think, back in 2019. This was before COVID. This was before all the events that we have had in the last few years.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know, I had a realization that maybe 22 would be my last year in a corporate world, and I should at that time make a decision to switch and do something more on the social side of humanity with the skills that I have, right? And my skills have been commerce and payments, right? For all my adult life, in fact. But then COVID happened in 2020, and the inspiration for KindKart actually came from the work that my dad did back in India. So I remember having a conversation with him in April of 2020. This is the first lockdown that we had in the first wave, the lockdown that India went into. My dad was very concerned that the people around his neighborhood, these are daily wage laborers, may not have access to food and money.
Yes.
Right, and they could not go back to their hometown.
Yeah.
And he was thinking maybe that he'll help 20 or 30 different families around his neighborhood to feed them during this lockdown. And he asked me if I can send him some money. So I said, sure, I'll send him some money, but I said, let me also put this on my LinkedIn network and raise some money and let's see what happens. And to my surprise, there were so many generous people during this time. And I was able to raise over $12,000.
Wow.
And what started as a small project became a fairly large operation. And my dad was able to distribute 1,300 grocery kits.
Oh, amazing.
A grocery kit is basically, lentils, rice, things that you can, sugar, salt, things you need to cook for a family of 3 or 4. And he was able to distribute that over a period of 2.5 months till the lockdown was eased. I was just blown away by his way of how he executed it. And that was the beginning of that inspiration for KindKart.
Such a wonderful thing. And yeah, that was a hard time for so many. We saw the migrant workers, going through such tough times.
Correct.
And you said Bangalore, right?
That is right.
Yeah. So, there are so many non-profits here in the US and also doing a lot of work in India. And not that we don't want more of them, because there's so many people that, we can reach out to. But what is different about KindKart?
Yeah, actually, before I tell you what's different, I'll tell you a small little story.
Sure.
So right after that lockdown eased, word spread around around where Dad lives that there's an old man who's trying to help.
Okay.
So the first lady who actually contacted my dad was, she runs an orphanage.
Okay.
At that time, that orphanage had about 42 children.
Okay.
And then she called my dad. She said, sir, my children are, they're going to starve if you don't get help.
Okay.
Any help would be very, very useful. So my dad, like any other old Indian person, he said, okay, I don't trust people with money, but I will buy things for you.
Okay.
So he started buying things for this orphanage, starting from obviously the grocery kits to then milk, and he started paying for the cooking gas and water bill and electricity bill. And slowly from that one orphanage, another old age home found out, they reached out to my dad. So I used to send him money every month.
Okay.
And then he would buy things for them. And that started becoming,
Like a routine.
that started becoming a routine. And I realized, this is something that we can actually scale and expand. Right? And that's when I realized the uniqueness for what KindKart should stand for. Right? And I came up with basically 5 things that I felt was unique, that should be unique about KindKart. Based on my interviews with many charities over the last couple of years.
Okay.
Number 1 is that donors should know where their money goes. Right? Many times I ask people, said, hey, what comes in the way for you to donate to a charity? So it's usually trust, because I don't know where my money goes.
Yes.
And I just wanted to answer that very simple question. You should know where your money goes. Right? That was the problem number 1.
Okay.
Problem number 2 was, I give money, but I don't know what happens after that. Yes, they may, I know they're being helped, but I don't get any specific contextual feedback. There is very generic feedback of what happened, but never contextual, right? So can we not actually get personalized feedback to what happens, right? And that increases the connect between the donor and the person and the beneficiary. So I wanted to solve that particular problem. The third one was, I've been donating on many platforms for so many years, and it's a very common thing to ask for, a tip or a fee. And over the last few years, I've seen that percentage asked is fairly high. Sometimes as a default, it's 25% of money that, gives operational cost. And I felt actually very strongly towards this, because that 25%, let's say, $100, that $25 going to the charity is going to be a lot more useful to them than paying my salary. So I decided I won't take a salary out of this. Right? And we should actually run this through volunteers and still be able to scale. And there are many successful organizations that have done that. Right? So that was my kind of third value. And the fourth value was around, the fourth uniqueness was around, nothing like a tragedy that is a marketing event for charities. Right? When you have tragedies, people generally are very generous in opening their pocket. But an orphanage, an old age home, these shelters, they still need to operate every day. They need food every day, electricity and water.
Constant tragedy there.
Yes. So I say we should solve for peacetime and not wartime, because there are plenty of people who are already solving for the tragedy kind of use cases. So KindKart should be focused on peacetime and help these people sustain these organizations that are small, that are often overlooked. They don't have the means to market themselves. Right, and those sets of problems now started, being firm in my mind. I said, if I solve for these 5 problems, and 5 years from now, we look back and say these are the 5 problems that KindKart has specialized on, then I think we've achieved what we wanted to do.
Wow, such a beautiful answer, and you're so right. You have to consistently help the people who are underprivileged. So they can improve their lives, and somehow there's less conflict in the world.
Absolutely.
Conflict क्यों हो रही है? Because of the vast difference between people.
Correct.
And obviously other things. But that is a very noble cause, Shri. And I did go to your website. The website is thekindkart.org. KindKart is spelled KINDKART, not C. So kindkart.org. So I'll urge everybody to go check out the website, thekindkart.org, and look what they're doing and how you can help. And I did check, there was some foundation featured there, like Manav Charities, Sri Sai Sneha Foundation, Sri Sadguru Sai Charitable Trust, and some more. So I wanted to ask, what is your vetting process to collaborate with these foundations?
Yeah, so Namrita, one of the areas we wanted to focus was that these charities are supposed to be the ones that don't get help from outside. They don't have visibility outside on larger platforms. Right? Yes. So we started from there, and when we started, we wanted to actually go with word of mouth and reference. Right. So that is our almost 50% of our vetting is there's somebody that we trust who says, hey, I know this charities existed in the last 3 years. I've supported. Just locally, and it is they are ones that they actually need help and they fit within your criteria. Then what we've done is we now actually run only entirely through volunteers, and we have volunteers on the ground who then go in and onboard these charities, and as part of onboarding them, do that vetting process of finding out what are their needs, how long have they operated, how do they spend their money, what are their monthly expenditures, do they have recurring expenditures, and how often is that?
Okay.
And get word of, again, reference from the other donations or other donors who have helped them.
Okay.
Right? And then we do monthly and quarterly audits
Okay.
with these charities. So that is kind of how we are scaling at this point in time.
Okay. And most of these charities are based in Bangalore?
So
Or-
we've just expanded to 2 other cities.
Okay.
A majority is in Bangalore, that's where we started. But now we also have one in Chennai and one in Mumbai area.
Okay.
And we are actually expanding. By the end of the year, we should be about 25 charities.
Oh, lovely.
And we are currently 13.
Oh, congratulations on that. Amazing work. And like you said, you did tell how KindKart is different and, how you're operating. And I did see that when I went to the website, I saw, I clicked on the one of the charities and what they needed, and what I saw was a whole list of grocery,
Yes.
like a grocery list, and electricity bill or cylinder or masalas,
Yes.
or bath ki cheezein hain. So just basic stuff, and you can pick from there. So I'll really urge, and you can see what you're paying for. So a little bit about how this works, and how can people join, and are there any subscriptions, monthly subscriptions, or corporate donor matching or any other?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things, again, we realized was there are about 60 to 70% of the expenses that a charity has is recurring, month over month.
Recurring, yes.
It's just like your house and my house.
Yeah.
We have to buy and feed our family, so we have to buy groceries,
Yes.
right? And then we have to pay for electricity, water bill, cooking, and other utilities, right? So similar expenses they have, and these things repeat. Now, if you're an orphanage, some of the spend will be different from if you're an old age home, where you have to buy medicines and adult diapers and things like that, right? But they all recur, right? Every month.
Yeah.
And of course, they have about 20 to 30% every month. That's a one-time, expense that they do, similar to our homes, right? But my goal and focus is target these recurring, expenditures.
Expenditure.
The reason is these charities who have predictable expense month after month don't have predictable cash flow.
Yes.
And you won't believe less than 5% of donations worldwide are recurring. But 60 to 70% of those expenses are recurring every month. So there's a huge gap.
Huge gap, yes.
Right? And as I interviewed these people, they play a juggling game every month. Right? They will prioritize what is the most important thing to pay for this month. They'll pay for that and then figure out how to, somehow manage through the rest of the month and so on and so forth. Depending on some months they have money, some months they don't have money. Right? And it was consistent from charity to charity. So I said, okay, what can we do to simplify that and reduce that burden on charities? Right? I'll give you a simple example.
Yeah.
A recurring donation of $9.99. It's a very simple. It's 2 coffees a month for someone here in the Bay Area. Just 2 coffees. Right? That 2 coffees can feed a child for 1 full week, 3 meals a day. Right? Something as small as that. But when you say feed a child, what does feed a child mean? I mean, yes, you can drop a bag of rice, but that's not enough, right? You have to cook the rice. And it's not enough, okay, if you cook the rice, you need the masalas, you need the oil, right? And so that's when I realized, okay, it's got to be giving that, those kind of capabilities for the orphanage, that they get support for all of these things. We want to make the experience for the donor very simple.
Yes.
Very simple. You come in, you already have an amount in your mind that you want to help. But we will tell you exactly, just like, Instacart, instead of you putting items in your cart, the charities have put items in their cart. So you come, just say you want to donate $50 or one time, we will automatically pick items from the cart. Or if you want to do a recurring donation.
Yes.
And we have 4 tiers of recurring donation.
Okay.
Kind, which is $9.99
Per month, right?
per month.
Yeah.
Kinder, which is $19.99. Kindest, and ultra kind, which is $99 a month. So we made it simple for the donors.
Absolutely.
Now, when the recurring donation goes to the charity, it's like an Amazon gift card. They can only purchase items on KindKart with that recurring donation. So that way, exactly. That way, every cent of the money that the donor paid for is used and is visible to the donor. The donor knows exactly where it was spent, and make that very simple.
I think that's a lovely part because you can see where your money is going. And like Shri was telling me before the interview, you will get an update, an email or with a picture of how your money was utilized, which is so amazing and I think gratifying to see. Oh, this is where your money went. I think that's a wonderful thing to do. So more of a personal question here, Shri, that you've chosen a path of serving others. So what are you gaining from this act of kindness?
Yeah, that's a very, very interesting question. I will say this, right? The act of giving itself is a selfish act, right? If you look at it, you are getting happiness first by helping someone, and which is a good thing, totally a good thing. And so I'll not take that away. Okay. I would say that selfishness is there in me too, that it does give that gratitude in knowing that we can help others. If you'd asked me 20 years ago, Sri, would you have thought you'd be doing this? I would say probably not.
No.
But I think life experiences teach you so many things. And a lot of my values come from my parents and what I've seen them do over the course of their lives. And my dad is almost 80 years old.
Wow.
And he's the inspiration behind this idea. So if he can do it at that age, then I should do it when I have the health, the time, the energy, and the financial means for it.
Absolutely. I hope we have more selfish people like Shri, like you say. Yeah. And it shows your love and respect for your dad and how you're leading a life similar to his, which is so wonderful to see. And having role models at home is great, I'll say. And another thing was, I know you must have dealt with so many human stories when you started this. So any story that you'd like to share with our listeners and viewers?
Yeah, actually, there's one special story from this is the Sri Sai Sneha Foundation.
Okay.
She was the first one, the lady who contacted my dad, right? And she was the first charity that we also onboarded.
Orphanage.
The orphanage, yeah. Just beautiful children, and when you go there in person, so after I got my first COVID shot, then I went to India, visited her orphanage. Mostly girls, like you'd imagine, right? In India, that situation is it's fairly desperate, and she rescues children. They are either destitute children, abandoned children, or children who lost their parents to tragedies like these floods and COVID and so on and so forth. There's one special story there. There was a girl that she rescued when the girl was 3 years old.
Okay.
It's actually there on the blog. Her name is Bhumika. There's a blog for it on KindKart.
Okay.
And this girl was part of a nomadic tribe. They would go from town to town, and they'll do that kind of street circus, and they get money. And this girl at 3 years old was made to do a tightrope walk.
Oh yes.
And she was fed only on kurkure.
Oh wow.
Morning and evening, just one thing. And Sneha, once she discovered her, it took her about several months before she could rescue her. And she didn't have parents. This girl, she was being looked after by her aunt and uncle, who were also part of the troop. And eventually she rescued her, but it took her 1 full year of hospital visits to make sure that she can eat normal food.
Oh.
She was not able to digest normal food.
Digest because she never.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this girl, I met her. She's now, I think, 9th or 10th grade, and she said she wants to be an IPS police officer.
Lovely.
What an inspiring story, right? From where that girl was to where she's now, and thanks to the generous people who've helped her, and of course to Sneha, who's given her a life ahead.
Yeah, that is, and there's so many stories like Bhumika's, I'll say,
Absolutely.
And whenever we go to India, we see so many of these children working, around, and but we never look ahead. We just see it that we walk away.
Correct.
So there are very few people who try to do something about situation like Bhumika, and I hope you all would join thekindkart.org and just look into it and help Shri and the team scale, like he's wanting to scale this organization. So any last words, Shri, and we'll wind up.
No, again, thank you all, and I'm looking forward to as much support as you can. What's unique about KindKart is that we want to make it easy for donors. I want to solve the problems that donors have. I've been a donor all my life.
Yes.
And when I reflect back on the little kind of issues that I felt as a donor, right, those are the kind of problems I'm going after and solving. And if you have any questions, feel free to also, send me.
Where can they reach you?
You can send me a note. My email is Sri, SRIG, as in Gopalakrishnan. So srigi@dkindkart.org. Please send me an email with your ideas. If you'd like to volunteer, you can reach out to me as well. Again, it is Srigi, SRIG@dkindkart.org.
D as in
THE.
THE. Okay, I was I was thinking
KindKart.
D. So THE, the KindKart. And they are also on Instagram and Facebook. You can look into it and message them. And thank you, Shri, for coming and talking about KindKart, and wish you the very best. In this amazing work that you are doing. And listeners, I will only say, wishing you all a very, very happy Diwali. I know you'll be celebrating a lot with your families and having fun. So all I'll say in Hindi is that जब अपनी दहलीज पर हजारों दिए जलाएं, तो एक दिया उस दहलीज के लिए जला लेना जहां उजाला कम हो. So I think that's what Shri is doing. He is spreading light to the people and places where they don't have enough. So do think about giving during this festive season and count your blessings too. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Shri. Take care, be well. Bye for now.
Thank you, Namrita. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Shosha is a creative Indian restaurant located in the heart of Silicon Valley. Shosha is a woman-owned business that serves traditional Indian flavors assimilated with molecular gastronomy techniques. The best Indian bar with happy hours in the Bay Area serves handcrafted drinks inspired by flavors from India with modern craft cocktails that are presented in unique ways. Shosha is a modern take on traditional Indian cuisine. We specialize in corporate luncheon, anniversary celebrations, birthday parties, and catering. Do check us out for a memorable modern Indian dining experience. Shosha is located at 141 South Murphy Avenue in Sunnyvale, California.